One thing I forgot to mention, I've pulled all these for. One thing I forgot to mention is that there is actually another little screw that goes up here in this top corner, and you definitely don't want to forget that, or else you might break shit. You don't want to break shit. It's very bad. Oh, I'm glad that came out. You can see how terrible. Now, you see how much that took is all. Just a little bump is all it takes, and it will come out of here. It's almost nothing. There you go. Now, like I said, you're gonna have your hood latch in there. All your stuff stays in there, and in fact, none of this crap really has to come out any further than this. You can kind of move this slightly out of the way. It'll go underneath and stuff, and it'll just kind of hang out there. It'll hang out on the floor. You can take it all the way out if you want, but why bother with that? So, next step is pulling screws to take off your centerpiece, and also this comes off separate. If I remember, there's no screw for it. You are unfortunately gonna need to take your key back out, and you just kind of pull forward, and then this will jump down out of the way. There's an unused in the base model. This little guy right here is unused. It just hangs out. Actually putting this back in is one of the trickiest parts, but it's not that bad. But you can see under here, you're gonna have one on your right side. Sorry. And then there's gonna be one more on the left side. Once those two are taken out, you can actually access the cluster. This one out. It fell onto the floor. Try to be organized. When you're doing this on camera, you're trying to, you guys do it faster. There's no excuse. But anyway, so now we're doing this, and we're popping that out. It's all pretty much the same screwdriver. Everything's the same. Okay. So now that all those screws are out, you're sitting here, and this kind of holds on, you know, like most dashes hold on. They're just a little bit angry. There you go. Oops, actually, again, since it's been so long, I've simply forgotten that there was one screw. You don't want to forget that one too. So once you get the lower part pulled, don't forget that bottom screw, or it's going to come back to haunt you. As with doing anything with dashes, I'm no expert on this matter, but if you have to really force something, you probably have screws in there somewhere, and you really don't want to screw those up. Like, you don't want to screw the screws up. If you break anything, a lot of these parts are hard to find. Junkyard in some cases, you know, God knows what else, and you just don't want to have to deal with that, any of it. So that screw came out of there, no big deal. Now, I promise, now it will come out a lot easier. There. Now, this is where we want to masking tape that bottom piece. You can do it beforehand too. I guess it doesn't necessarily matter, but to get this piece out, and also you're going to have this floating around, I suggest you unplug this from the back. You don't want to deal with that. It's not too bad. Just a little push clip on the side. Something that of course requires 2 hands. So we're going to pull that off, and then we are going to throw some masking tape on this so we don't scrape it all to hell. We should have done that maybe before it came off, because there's all metal back there and it scrapes it. So we'll get back to you and do that. It's not hard to do. You just, like I said, you need 2 fingers. And then I put the masking tape on here, around on this underside of this metal piece is all really has a sharp edge to it. So what you want to do is pull the lip of the bottom underneath that. Okay, so we get a little bit more. And then this has a little elbow to it, so you just kind of fight it up. Sorry, that wasn't very good, but anyways, you pull it from this side, you pull it up out of the way, it'll allow it to slide forward, and then you slowly jiggle it around, and then it'll come pretty much like this. And you'll notice your this is for your lights. You're going to want to go ahead and unplug that as well. I believe that clip, I don't remember how this clip comes out, if it's easy or hard. Yeah, it's not hard to put on. There. Oop, already got free. You can see the clip. All it is on this side is just you just bend that in. We have all 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. If you take out our cluster. So anyways, the next part, very straightforward. You just pull all 4 of these, and then we have all 4 screws out. What you're going to do is bring it forward, and you're going to want to bring it back, and then that'll bring it out, and then you'll see there's 3 clips: white, blue, and brown. These also come out rather easy. The hardest part is, like I said, fumbling around with one hand trying to do it. And then, once you get all 3 out, bada bing bada boom, it's out. And one cool little part of this piece right here, you can see 6/21/04 was when this cluster was made. And so you can always date your cluster, at least these generation. One thing I wanted to show really quick was how to get this in, because it can be a little weird because you have this clip right here. You have that clip, and then you have one on the bottom that go into here and here. But you also have this little top ridge that goes back under here, and so what you want to do is kind of get it to hit on the into the square where it goes. You see it just kind of, it's going in there a little bit, and then you can bend it back. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. You see, you bend it back, and now you have both of these sides underneath it, and then you can bring it in square, push it, click it on the bottom, click it on there, and then it's actually in place. Mine looks a little rough because it's a little bit old. Well, actually, it looks rough because it's not in place correctly. But it just kind of shows you what's hard. But that's what you want to do. You want to get that in place. Actually, I had mine slid over a little too far. And then once it's in there, you want to put it like that. Make sure everything is nice and centered, nice and squared away. And then, like I said, mine just looks like that because it's been like, oh, there it goes. There. You might have to give that a little nudge on the end. It should sit flush, relatively square. Mine, you know, these trucks are getting old. It's an 04, 10 years old this year. Okay, so here we are again. This is just in place. I haven't put the screws in yet, but I have all the screws in here. Remember, the 2 on either side, the other one's under there, and then the one underneath, and that will keep this whole thing in place. This is obviously only on the non-adjust columns. This is a single cab, and that's my subwoofers back there. So that's also, don't put subs in a truck if you're over 5'5". It's just about 6 foot, and yeah, it's cramped. But anyways, so now as we're running out of daylight, as you can see, we have a screw here that we, if you remember, took out, We have the screw up in there, and then we have the one down here that you can probably no longer see because of the fact that it's getting dark. But anyway, it's right there. And that, you can see my finger. Don't forget that one. You'll sit here and you'll have a screw left and you'll wonder what the hell's going on. I have 3 left, so I'm right on target. And when I get those in, I will come back.